1. The Declaration of Independence, 1776. The Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4, 1776, and marked the formal separation of the 13 American colonies from Great Britain. Drafted primarily by Thomas Jefferson, the document outlined the colonies' grievances against King George III and justified their right to revolt. It emphasized individual rights and equality, stating that all men are created equal, a phrase that became central to future civil rights movements. 2. The Louisiana Purchase, 1803. The Louisiana Purchase was a land deal between the United States and France in 1803. Under President Thomas Jefferson, the U.S. acquired approximately 828,000 square miles of land west of the Mississippi River for $15 million. This purchase effectively doubled the size of the United States, securing American control over the Mississippi River and opening up vast territories for westward expansion. 3. The War of 1812, 1812 to 1815, often called the Second War of Independence. The War of 1812 was fought between the U.S. and Great Britain. Key issues leading to the war included British interference with American shipping and their support for Native American resistance to U.S. expansion. One notable event was the burning of Washington, D.C., by British forces in 1814. The war ended with the Treaty of Ghent in 1815, solidifying U.S. sovereignty, though neither side gained significant territory. 4. The Missouri Compromise, 1820. The Missouri Compromise was a key event in the lead-up to the American Civil War. It was an agreement passed by Congress in 1820 to maintain the balance between slave and free states. Missouri was admitted as a slave state and Maine as a free state. Additionally, slavery was prohibited in the remaining territories north of the 36° 30 parallel. This compromise temporarily eased tensions between the North and South but highlighted the growing sectional divide. 5. The Trail of Tears, 1838 to 1839. The Trail of Tears refers to the forced relocation of thousands of Native Americans from their ancestral lands in the southeastern U.S. to areas west of the Mississippi River, primarily to present-day Oklahoma. This relocation was a result of the Indian Removal Act of 1830, signed by President Andrew Jackson. The journey was marked by extreme hardship, disease, and death, with thousands of Cherokee and other tribes perishing along the way. 6. The Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. The Mexican-American War was a conflict between the U.S. and Mexico, driven by the U.S.'s desire for territorial expansion under the belief in manifest destiny. The war ended with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848, through which Mexico ceded large portions of land, including present-day California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and parts of Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, and Texas. This greatly expanded U.S. territory but also fueled debate over the extension of slavery into new lands. 7. The Emancipation Proclamation, 1863. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1, 1863, during the height of the Civil War. The proclamation declared that all slaves in Confederate-held territory were to be set free. While it did not immediately free all slaves, it shifted the focus of the war to include the abolition of slavery as a key goal. It also allowed for the recruitment of African American soldiers into the Union Army, significantly bolstering its ranks. 8. The Reconstruction Era, 1865 to 1877. After the Civil War, the U.S. entered the Reconstruction Era, a period focused on rebuilding the South and integrating formerly enslaved African Americans into society. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments were passed during this time, abolishing slavery, granting citizenship to all born or naturalized in the U.S., and securing voting rights for African American men. However, this period was marked by significant resistance, including the rise of white supremacist groups like the Ku Klux Klan, leading to the eventual end of Reconstruction and the onset of Jim Crow laws. 9. The Industrial Revolution, late 19th century. The Industrial Revolution in the U.S. spanned the late 19th century and was marked by rapid advancements in technology, industry, and transportation. Innovations such as the assembly line, introduced by Henry Ford, revolutionized mass production, while railroads connected the country, facilitating commerce and the migration of people. The era also saw the rise of industrial magnates like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller, whose wealth and power shaped the economic landscape but also led to labor struggles and the formation of unions. 10. Women's suffrage. 1920. The women's suffrage movement culminated in the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920, granting women the right to vote. This was the result of decades of activism, including by figures like Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and later, Alice Paul. The amendment marked a major milestone in the struggle for gender equality in the U.S., though many women of color, particularly African American and Native American women, continued to face barriers to voting for decades afterward.